I am quite ready.
You know what I hate?
What?
That moment when you turn 26 and get worse acne than you've ever had in your life. It's just wonderful. I just got, Chernobyl on my face right now. So that's great.
It's always great.
I was like, in my vanity was like, man, I really hope these zits clear up by the weekend because I'm filming something. But no, you have to look at my Quasimodo face for the rest of this episode.
That's exciting.
Or not. I'm not forcing anyone to watch this. We have a lot to go over, though, so I think we should jump right into it.
Indeed.
The first topic I wanted to talk about was, I don't know how this really affects the average consumer very much, other than the fact that drones have become really mainstream. I think there's a lot of, I don't know, like the Air Parrot or whatever have become popular, but also even DJI stuff with the Mavic Pro being a reasonably priced, very compact, easy to use drone. Like It was stupid easy to fly. I almost crashed a Phantom 3 like 5 times, and then I got the Mavic out and just first try. It was awesome. So, yeah, because you have a Phantom 4?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know what your thoughts are on consumerism and drones these days, but
I don't know. I mean, I figure I see it as there's a lot of capability with it, and I think if it's used responsibly, it's an awesome route for some awesome footage and stuff.
Yeah.
But
as a filmmaking tool, it's incredible.
Exactly. Yep. But used irresponsibly, I just don't like those people because then they make more rules for the people that do care about what they're doing with them. So,
like the national parks thing, you can't have a drone in a national park, which makes sense. I mean, I wouldn't want a drone in a hot pot. I bet that's happened already. Someone's flown a drone into a geyser in Yellowstone or something.
Yeah.
So, I don't know how I feel about it as just a hobbyist thing. Like, I'm a fan of drone racing. It's really impressive.
That's really fun to watch.
As a filmmaker, though, it's an incredible tool. And we've gotten some really nice shots from it before. So DJI semi-quietly announced, and at a conference called Cinegear 2019, their newest drone, which is called Storm, I think. Project Storm. Yeah, Storm by DJI Studio. We can play this real quick. I'll put it on mute. But it's a new... It's not just a drone, but it's a service, because this is an enormous product. It holds 40 pounds, I want to say.
That is a lot.
And it has an entire, so normally a drone has a gimbal on the bottom, right? Which is like a brushless motorized thing to keep the camera stable. And DJI also makes handheld gimbals that we have that you can use to hold and keep the camera steady. This thing is so big that it comes with a Ronin gimbal on it for the camera.
Dude.
And then... yeah, you can put like an Ari Alexa or like an actual, like a Red Monster or a cinema camera on it with a huge lens.
That's incredible.
And then you can't buy this product. You can only have access to this product if you rent their service. So if you pay for, I think it's a 4-man team to come.
Oh my dude.
There's a pilot who has to maintain visuals on it the whole time. Then there's a cinematographer who is running the camera, and I think a couple other assistants. And they even have you know how when you would rack focus back in the day, it was like this giant metal flywheel. Yeah. They have that, and it just digitizes the movement and lets you rack focus like you would want.
That's beautiful.
So yeah, it has an 8 to 15 minute flight time depending on weather conditions and payload and all that.
That's a lot of flight time for that much weight.
Yeah. I agree. For 40 pounds, and this, I think it's an 8 prop, 4 spoke, basically, 2 props on each spoke type of scenario. So I don't know. I just thought this was pretty interesting. Like,
that is very interesting.
They're rolling some pretty cool footage here, and they have their team all set up. And I think part of the reason is just that when you're getting into the commercial space with drones that are this big, there's a lot of federal regulation on that. Because I know for us, our drones, we pay $5 to the,
as long as we're not making
FCC,
money with it, you can kind of just $5 and you're to the FAA thing and you're done. And it's exactly
right. And then you slap a sticker on it,
and that's
and so if someone finds it, they know it was registered.
Yeah.
Which the funny thing is, I haven't actually registered mine yet because I haven't flown it since that regulation came.
Oh, dude.
Because back when I bought it, you didn't have to register it if it was under a certain weight limit, and mine's a Mavic, so it's very small.
Mine was above that because it's the Phantom. But
it's like you go online, you fill out a thing, you print a sticker.
Yep, done.
No big. So I should do that. And I should use my drone more. But anyways, they have a Red Dragon on here.
Footage is just beautiful. I can't imagine driving it like that.
Yeah, I mean they're super talented pilots, which is good. I mean, I'm sure you have to pay through the nose. I wasn't able to find out the pricing. You had to actually like email them, and I didn't want to like catfish them just to get some information. But regardless, it was I don't know. This is pretty impressive, and it's neat. Like if you're working on a feature film, or I guess who is this for? Right in my mind, it's probably for somebody who's making an indie film.
Yep.
Because if you're working on like a blockbuster, you probably already have access to this kind of thing.
And a gear or crew much bigger than that already has all the experience and whatnot. But
so
it's that middle of the road.
Or maybe if you're working on a commercial, I would say.
I could see that.
So I mean, a lot of the footage they showed was of cars, right? So maybe that'd be a good application for it. But
I could see that.
Yeah, I don't know. I thought this was pretty neat.
That is pretty cool.
I also don't know, if the package includes the camera, right? Like if you pay for them to come out, do you also have to rent an Alexa from a cinema house or something? It's like, I would hope that you could select the camera during the process and be like, here's what I want this shot on.
That'd be nice.
Or you're already shooting a movie with an Alexa, so it's like, we'll just throw the Alexa on it.
Yeah. If you're already in production of something, you may have a camera.
Right. So we'll see. Either way, that was really neat. But doesn't really affect me at all.
No.
So.
Because.
That was the other computer, I think.
Yep.
Don't worry about it. So, yeah, good stuff from DJI, though. I appreciate them. They make good stuff. Like the
really
Osmo
do.
is good. The Ronin is good.
Yep.
We just got to figure out how to fit our thick boy cameras onto the Ronin now because they're a little too wide these days. Next topic I want to talk about is Google Stadia.
I have not heard about this one either. I feel like I don't know a lot of the news these days.
That's okay. I spend too much time reading the news, but this is a project from Google. Our boys in, I don't know. They have all kinds of colors. I was about to say our boys in blue, but they're every color: red, blue, green, yellow.
Yep.
So they have announced a while ago a project called Google Stadia that was met with, I want to say, tempered excitement.
Okay.
Generally. Mostly just confusion as to who the product is for, and we can get into that a little bit. But essentially, it's a game streaming service. So you plug a controller into a computer, launch your Chrome browser, pick a game, and then your input from your controller is sent to Google servers that are playing this game, and then the visual, the audio and video from that game are sent back to your computer in I don't know what the latency was. We'll have to look that up, but I don't know. I guess effectively you're looking at streaming a game versus playing it on your own hardware. So they have officially announced that it comes out in November, I believe, or at least in the fall/early winter. And you can pre-order a bundle that comes with a Chromecast 4K, which is capable of streaming back the 4K video, and then a controller. They have their own controller, but you can use whatever you want. Okay. And then apparently you can play it on the Pixel 3 and Pixel 3a. Weird that it's not on the Pixel 2 phones.
That is interesting.
And then any PC or possibly Mac, I think, with Chrome. Just anything that's running the Chrome browser, you can stream it.
Wow.
And then the service is free if you do 1080p at 60 FPS, but you have to buy the games, I believe. And then it's $10 a month if you want to do 4K HDR 60 FPS, which they say you can manage at a 30 megabit connection speed, which is pretty common these days. I have 100. Yep. So I would argue average is probably 100 in the US right now.
Probably
or close to it.
Yeah, something like that. It depends upon all the rural areas. Is the hard part that takes those down to some extent.
And do you know the speed on 4G LTE?
I mean, I usually will get. Boy, I think I've gotten like 30 to 40.
Okay.
In a well-populated area, like where you have really good signal.
Right.
Once you get further out, it's like 10.
Right.
Ish.
So
but that's an interesting idea, because that would make it so someone who wanted to play games would not have to have a gaming computer or have the outlay of that cost.
Yeah, exactly. They're not going to have to drop the money to play a AAA title.
Exactly.
Right? Like if you want to play Shadow of the Tomb Raider and you don't want to at 4K 60, and you don't want to buy a 2080,
Yeah, exactly.
you could do that.
You could do that, which is pretty amazing.
Let's see.
40
They're saying
millisecond?
40 millisecond latency, which is pretty high.
It is.
Like
That's-
at 60 FPS, that's like 8 frames, which is quite a bit.
Yeah.
Especially if it's like a fighting game.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if you're playing Peggle,
Yeah.
like who cares?
Mm-hmm.
But so I guess that coupled with the fact that just the idea of what it is, which is something that circumvents the need for high-end hardware, makes me think that this is for two audiences, one of two potentially. One being the person who doesn't want to build a high-end PC,
Mm-hmm.
or has a PC that isn't high-end and does not want to upgrade it, and has a decent internet connection. Or
Yeah.
two, the kind of person who wants to play a game at home and then hop on a bus and continue playing the game.
Yep.
Those are the two things that I can see probably happening.
Yep.
If you have unlimited data on your cell phone plan,
Exactly.
and you have a fast internet connection with no data caps, because that's the other thing is if you have a data cap on your ISP from your ISP, you're probably going to hit it quickly
that
if
would
you're
stack
doing
it pretty
4K
quick.
60.
yeah.
Now, I believe Netflix has been streaming 4K content for a while now, probably not at 60 FPS, but I think a lot of
Yes.
people have been able to stream that. I know you need to pay slightly more for that, but
Yeah.
that's the other thing that so I saw people arguing on Reddit that if you have a 4K monitor, you likely have a high-end PC connected to it. But I would say with TCL and all these other companies making 4K TVs affordably,
Yep.
that's probably closer to where you're going to be. And not to
true.
mention the fact that they're shipping a Chromecast Ultra with the pre-order,
Yep.
which is indicative that they think you're going to play it on a TV.
Yeah. Now, can you connect the controller to the Chromecast
Yes.
so that you can actually do that?
Yeah,
That
because
is
Chromecast
awesome.
Ultra has Bluetooth. So I'm pretty sure you can connect any controller to a Chromecast Ultra.
That's awesome.
As far as I know. And if even if you have just like some sort of small what was that? Asus made some sort of Google TV thing.
That little guy, yeah.
And then there was something else that recently came out that was like a better 4K, not from Google, that somebody else was making that was like, this is actually better than a Chromecast Ultra.
Gotcha.
I can't remember what it was. But either way, if it can run Chrome, unless I guess it's a Pixel 2 or not,
You know,
I don't know. That's kind of strange to me.
That's
If
really
it's not
interesting.
Android but it can run Chrome, then
Yep.
I think you can play this
That's
with
a
any
really
controller you want.
That's a really interesting thing.
Their controllers are cool. I like the color scheme. I'm a big,
Yeah.
big fan of the Xbox One controller, though.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't see myself ever really wanting to buy theirs.
Yep. Same.
So, anyways, I also don't see myself wanting to use this service because I personally have a lot of games already that I don't want to have to pay a streaming service for.
Yep.
I can play them in whatever resolution I want locally. And, you know, I just don't think this is aimed at me.
Yep.
So I don't think but on Reddit, there's so many people just criticizing this, and I don't think it's aimed at them.
Yep.
You know, I think it's unfair to decry something because Google's not stupid.
No.
They wouldn't make a product if they thought it had no chance of having an audience, right?
Google Plus.
Okay, well, Google Plus, that's fair. That's fair. But I think in general, a lot of their non-strictly software-related stuff,
True.
like Chromecasts,
Their hardware
awesome.
has been on point.
yeah. And so this is both, right? It's the software component and the controller and
Yeah.
Chromecast Ultra. But I think there is going to be a market for this
I do agree with that. Yes. No, totally.
as long as they don't pull a Google Plus and like.
Yep.
But this is an opt-in scenario,
Yes.
not an opt-out scenario.
This is true.
So, anyways, here's their list of stuff that I mean,
Yeah.
I think the big ones that they were saying were Destiny 2. There's a new expansion coming, and so I think they're trying to time this with that, so you can get that. You can see Wolfenstein here, Doom Eternal. Thumper is an interesting one. That's a rhythm game, and I feel like a rhythm game with latency would be really horrible. But if they're launching it if they're allowing you to play Thumper on their service, they must be pretty confident.
Yep.
And I can't imagine they haven't tested that. So
Yeah.
Ghost Recon Breakpoint, that's a new Ghost Recon game coming out. So these are all like AAA titles that are brand new.
Oh, yeah.
Borderlands 3. These are Farming Simulator 19. I mean, all the classics.
My dude.
But Mortal Kombat 11, a fighting game, right? So you need low latency for this. So I'd be very curious to see what it's like. And I might even hop on the free one and see if there's any games just try.
I think I am going to, because I'm really curious how that acts.
Yeah.
And see what the experience is like, especially on different devices. Like, could I play this on my 7-year-old MacBook?
Yeah.
Could I play it on my Chromebook?
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Like that, then a Chromebook suddenly becomes way more appealing to me. Right? Because it's like, I've been looking for a laptop that has some decent GPU power. Now, to be fair, that's probably not just for gaming. So, there's that. But yeah, I don't know. If you could get a Chromebook and a controller and just have a good time and play it 4K 60, like, that's crazy.
That'd be pretty sweet.
And YouTube is a great streaming service. I've been incredibly impressed with the way they handle it. Like, I've seen the videos start playing before the page is done loading. Yeah. Like, whatever they're doing, it's pretty magical. So,
it is.
Anyways, I think that's enough on Stadia for today. But I don't know. It's an interesting idea, and I'm really excited to see where it goes. So we have a lot of time till it officially launches. They had a tech demo that people could play. That's over now. But anyways, yeah. So not aimed at me, but I'm excited about it. I do like the verbiage, though. Additional free games. It's not really free. You're paying $10 a month.
True, yes.
So it's like, all these Netflix shows are free. No, they're not. You're paying for them every single month. Yeah,
we added a new free show. Like, if I stopped paying
Stop
you,
using that word,
then I wouldn't get it for free.
It's true.
Exactly. It's an interesting idea. I'm curious to see how it goes and what comes of that.
Yeah, like a console-less gaming experience. Or hardware-less. Basically. That's neat.
Exactly.
Good for you, Google, for innovating. They did recently remove the "Don't be evil" from their mission statement, though. Thought that was interesting.
What?
For a long time, it was like "Don't be evil" was one of their slogans.
Wow.
That disappeared from everything. So
that's interesting.
Are they planning to be evil now? I don't know.
You never know.
Next topic, my friend. This is rather inconsequential, and we'll probably blaze through this. But Bose has a new pair of noise-canceling headphones.
Ooh.
Do you have a pair of Bose noise-canceling headphones?
I do not.
Okay. I do not either, but my dad does. Okay. And I've stolen them for flights before, and they're incredible.
Nice. Okay.
I don't know what it is about Bose's technology that's just better, but it is better because I've tried other noise-canceling headphones that just didn't work as well.
Interesting.
And specifically for traveling, they're great because they are good at droning or getting rid of like constant noise. So if you're in the back of the plane and it's just loud, they're perfect for that. If there's somebody talking to you, it doesn't remove that, or a baby crying or whatever. It helps, but it doesn't eliminate it.
Sure.
But it's very good for like constant droning noise.
Yes.
But until recently, they've been largely competition-less. Until both Sony and Microsoft released fairly competent competitors to the point where I think the Sony ones were largely reviewed as the best of the three.
I think so.
And I was actually interested in getting some for a while, other than the fact that all of these are around $350 to $400, which is a lot, especially as a guy who doesn't travel that much.
Exactly.
Like, it's not really worth it. But one of the things that Microsoft was doing with their Surface headphones that was really compelling was they had a dial on the side where if you turned it all the way one direction, it was completely noise canceling, which is active. So it's creating an inverse sound wave of whatever it hears
on the outside, so you're actually getting less sound.
Yep. And then you turn it all the way the other way, and it's amplifying the outside. So you can, if you're in an office, I think specifically is what this is targeted for, and someone starts talking to you, you just grab that dial and twist it all the way, and now you can hear them without taking them off.
That's awesome.
I don't know if the Sony ones did that, but Bose is doing that now.
Okay.
So it has a touch-sensitive, the sides are touch-sensitive, and you can dial in the sound level on the outside. They also finally added a USB-C charging port instead of micro that they've been holding on to forever. 20-hour battery life.
Which is awesome. Wow.
And then I think they probably kept the Google Assistant thing. Usually it's just like a long press to activate whatever you want these days. But that was nice that the old Bose Quiet Comfort had the Google Assistant built into it, which was interesting.
That's
It wasn't even through the phone. It was built in. So either way, I just thought that was neat that they're actually like competing now.
Yeah.
Here's you can see these pictures. This is from The Verge. These are their truly wireless earbuds.
Okay.
They're kind of hilarious to me because they are so big. You look like Frankenstein with the bolts sticking out of his head when you're wearing them. And they never, in their marketing photos, had pictures of someone from the front. It was always from the side, so it made them look
couldn't
small.
see how, wow.
They're ridiculous. But
sneaky.
anyways. Oh, no, these must be the new ones, though, because I think these are truly noise canceling and the other ones weren't. But the Bose Truly Wireless were ridiculous. Had a good battery life because they were enormous.
Oh,
but,
yeah.
Either way, these are neat. Probably won't be buying
Those
them.
look neat.
But someday.
I'm like tempted, but
Same. I just, people come and talk to me so often at work, I can't really afford to actually be wearing headphones.
Yeah.
So, anyways, next news. Do you want to head this one off, my friend?
sure.
How much do you know about this?
A little bit. I did some research on it this last week. A little bit, not a ton, but Apple released their new Mac Pro, and they have trashed the trash can and have gone back to the cheese grater.
Yes.
Which is an interesting choice, and I think a good one.
Yeah.
Because you can do a lot more cooling in a tower design than a trash can design.
I agree.
So-
People have been making fun of the cheese grater, but I think it was a good choice.
Yeah.
The trash can was just annoying
Yep.
because it was unupgradable. Thermals
Yes.
were weird.
Yep.
And this is more function over form, to be honest, which is kind of a striking move from Apple.
It really is, because they usually just go for the form.
Right.
Which, with their monitor, meh. But yes, so they dropped the new Mac Pro. It looks pretty beastly. You can configure it to be amazingly beastly. That comes at a price tag, I am sure.
We
They're
don't know
not sure
how
what
much
that is
costs.
yet.
Yeah, because they gave us a starting price, but they didn't give us the starting specs.
Yep.
They just gave us the max specs.
Okay.
Of what you can what you
Yes,
can
what you
have
do.
in it.
But the starting price was right around $5,000, if I remember right.
Yep.
And that's a lot for a starting price on a desktop rig.
Yes.
Granted, everything I've seen, you're starting with Xeon chips in this, so that's pretty beefy right there. It's made for a high end. I don't know. I mean, maybe prosumer, maybe just professional.
Yeah.
It's an interesting market to target with this.
Yeah.
Which is but they're sticking in the latest gen of the Vega card.
That's not even out yet.
Yeah, exactly. Up to 1.5 terabytes of RAM, a stack of SSD storage with dedicated encryption chips.
ECC RAM.
Yeah, which you have to do with Xeons.
Yeah, but I mean that's a very pro move there.
It really is. Yeah, I don't own any ECC RAM.
No.
Because why?
Yeah, actually.
For everything I do. So it's targeted towards a very specific group.
Right.
And this price tag reflects that, I think.
Right. And that's the interesting thing about it. And Apple has I can't remember what comedian was calling them this, but nerd concerts is what he calls them, where someone goes out on the stage and all the hipsters hold their iPhones up and then they take pictures. Not knocking iPhones. I mean, they're good devices, but it's funny how you see pictures of literally everybody there is using Apple products.
Oh, yeah.
And it's like, I actually would be interested in going to WWDC.
Yeah.
Because I think it'd be a neat experience, and I would not bring an iPhone because I don't have one.
No.
But regardless, they it's weird kind of how they will. Normally, Apple doesn't do this. When they release a product, it's almost never targeted toward a small subset of people that isn't in attendance.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, it's normally like, here's a Mac Pro. It's expensive, but it's for everyone.
Yes.
Here's an iPhone. Obviously, it's for everyone.
Yep.
Again, it's expensive. This is like, here's a Mac Pro. We've been making these before, kind of stopped making them for years. And now we're announcing it alongside, iPad OS and a whole bunch of other stuff that's more consumer. But this is clearly targeted at pros. But because they announced it with such gusto and at the same time as everything else, everyone is like criticizing it when they don't even have an awareness of what the pro space is like in terms of this type of tech.
Oh, dude.
So honestly, because I went on, HP makes a series of desktops that are a direct competitor to this for the pro space that are, they're made for professionals. And I spec'd one out to have 2 Xenon chips, 1.5 terabytes of RAM, 4 GPUs, which is the max configuration for this.
Yep.
It was 90 grand. And so, I mean, that's something that like, if you are a film studio, like you eat that cost, you know, it's like, and so
probably buy a few of them.
Exactly. And the same with their monitor, right? It's a $5,000 6K reference monitor is a steal, especially considering that it's 100% sRGB and Adobe RGB, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
And it's a reference grade monitor with like really nice matte finish, so it's not shiny. I mean, like that's a great,
I would
great
love
price.
that monitor.
And the thing that people are coming down on most, interestingly, is the fact that it doesn't come with a stand, and the stand is $1,000.
Yes. Ouch.
Ouch. Yes, but again, that's not for you.
That's true.
You know, like everybody who's criticizing that, they're not the target market space for this. And I think that it's interesting that there's a guy I'm sure everybody knows, MKBHD, Marquez Brownlee, who I really trust his reviews and his opinions on things. And one of the things he mentioned was the fact that he thinks Apple messed up not by pricing the stand at $1,000, but instead by marketing the monitor as a $6,000 monitor. That's $5,000 if you opt out of the stand, which is really interesting to me. But I think that makes a lot of sense because oftentimes professionals don't want the stand. They already have a setup for their stand, and they're just swapping a monitor in and out.
Sure.
In fact, that's kind of, I mean, I'm not a professional, but that's my case right now. If I bought a new monitor, I don't want a stand. I have a VESA mount for my monitors. So I would prefer to not even pay for that. Which is, I mean, it's an expensive stand, but if you don't have to have that included in the cost of the monitor, that's awesome. Because I'm sure it's not a cheap stand to make because Apple makes high quality products that are probably expensive. It's not definitely worth $1,000. That's definitely going to be an insane markup. But like the fact that you don't have to buy the stand is nice.
That's true.
The fact that you have to buy a $200 VESA adapter is dumb. The fact that it doesn't out of the box include a VESA mount, which is the industry standard way of mounting a monitor. That's silly. But
yeah, that would be.
I don't know. Nice. If I could spend $5,200 on the monitor. I mean, that would be my use case. I would be buying a $5,200 monitor, not a $6,000 monitor.
True.
So they effectively saved me $8,000, and then it would be an incredible or 800. It'd be an incredible piece of tech too to have. I mean, it's so. I don't know. And the cool thing is that you can chain 6 of these monitors onto the Mac Pro with Thunderbolt. So you could have 6K monitors.
That's pretty insane.
So. I don't know. It's funny. It's a funny announcement, you know, like it's a great product.
It is.
I would never probably fully utilize it. Like I can't even imagine a scenario when I would need 1.5 terabytes of RAM.
No.
I have 64, which is a lot. And I've used, at one given time, I've only ever used like 38 gigs of it. So I can't imagine the kind of use case that would require that.
1,500 gigabytes of RAM.
So I don't know. Cool product. I'm happy that Apple is doing this.
Yes.
Getting them back in the competitive space and hopefully pushing PC innovations too. It is interesting to me that they seem to have a bit of a rocky relationship with NVIDIA at the moment because they haven't used an NVIDIA product in a Mac in a long time. And this kind of confirms that. I mean, the MacBook Pros have had Radeon stuff, which is AMD, and then these were the Vega stuff, which is also AMD. And you could put 2 Vega 2 Duos in there, which is basically 4 GPUs in there.
In a 2-card space, which is really nice.
And it's got hot swappable components. I think the RAM I don't think is soldered to the board. I don't think the GPUs are soldered to the board like the trash can Mac was. So it's normal socketed CPUs. I mean, it's probably a lot harder to take apart than a normal PC, but it's probably a lot more well put together.
Stuff with it. Versus the trash can.
I mean, if you look at my wiring in my PC, it's a nightmare. It looks good from the Windows side, but if you go on the other side, it's just a disaster. So you're paying for well built. And if you look at like Origin PCs or any of the higher end PC building companies, they're charging a premium for cable management, for custom cooling, which they probably don't have a liquid loop in this because they're Xenons and they only go up to like 4 gigahertz, I think
something like that, but their core count is insane.
So regardless, I don't know, this is a cool move. I think people should stop being so critical of it because it's not for them.
True.
But you know, it's not like Apple shouldn't be criticized.
That's true.
But
also,
I will defend that panel being $5,000, that's a good deal.
That is a stellar deal.
So-
I want one, but I will probably never buy one.
We can expense that to public access productions, write that
Perfect.
off our taxes.
You know it. With all that income we've been making.
Undeclared income. I think that's it for news this week. It was a busy week though, man.
It was.
WWDC
a lot
was
of things
huge.
changed. A lot of things released.
Yeah, there's a lot going on. It's an
DJI
exciting
quietly
time.
releasing things, all the stuff.
Yeah, good times. Typically, we try to end with a review.
Indeed.
At this point, so I think
Do you
have
something to review? Nice.
I don't have it with me. I left it at work, but I have the Samsung Galaxy Buds
Ooh,
that I recently purchased.
cool.
And I have some thoughts on them.
Yeah.
I got them from Costco, so they were $20 cheaper than they would have been.
Nice.
Which I think is good
Yep.
because they're expensive.
Okay.
They're, I think, $130 base price.
Okay.
But I like them.
Yeah.
I have a Galaxy S10, which is also weird for me because I had a Pixel for a long time.
Yep.
Switched to the Galaxy S10. Have been happy with it for the most part. I miss the squeeze to bring up Google Assistant.
Yeah.
I don't like Bixby, but it's easy to avoid.
Yep.
That's really all there is to that. But if you have a Galaxy phone, it's kind of like Apple with the AirPods. If you have a Galaxy phone, the Galaxy Buds are amazing. But if you don't have a Galaxy phone, they're still amazing. It's just the only difference, I think, is the pairing process. Because you just install the Galaxy Wearables app, and you can put that on any device.
Nice.
And then it negotiates with the earbuds. So
Neat.
when you open it up, it just sort of pops up and it goes, hey, I'm here. And then they're connected and it tells you the battery life.
Nice.
They sound awesome.
Okay.
The audio is done by AKG, so
Nice.
they're just high
I
quality.
appreciate that.
Unlike the AirPods, which I believe sound just like the EarPods but
Yeah.
wireless, which don't
Yeah.
sound good.
No.
And they're I think $200 for a pair of
I think
EarPods.
so.
So you can get these for $110 at Costco.
Mm-hmm.
And then they have. I think my favorite feature of them is you can press and hold on the left earbud, and then it turns on microphones. So then I can hear people talking to me without having to remove them.
Oh, neat. So it's a little similar to the inverse noise canceling idea.
Correct. They don't have active noise canceling
Okay.
because I don't think their microphone array is capable of that.
Makes sense.
But it does have a limited microphone input. It does also do an interesting thing where it attempts to boost the frequencies of voices over other frequencies. So it's I don't know if it's just a straight up EQ or if it's actually actively trying to identify a voice. I'm inclined to think it's an EQ because I was unloading the dishwasher and clanking dishes is a very similar frequency range to the human voice, and I almost got my ears blown out because it was so loud. So I'm pretty sure it's an EQ, but they sound good. The touch controls work well. My one complaint with that though is with AirPods, you take one out and it pauses your music. With these, you have to take both out before it pauses your music.
Okay.
But it's hard to. The sides are touch sensitive, and it's hard to take one out without touching the side.
Okay.
Which will then do something like skip the track, open the assistant, pause the music, whatever.
Sure.
So if you actually want it to keep playing and you pull one out, it'll probably pause it just from you accidentally touching it.
Okay.
That's a small complaint because I mean, the other thing is that the AirPods do heart rate measuring with a little
that's-
sensor on the inside.
That is interesting.
Really cool. I wish these did that too. They have some sort of sensor on the inside that I don't know if it does. I think it must be for detecting if it's in your ear.
Okay.
Because they do both pause when you take them both out. So it's probable that with a future software update, they could actually get that to pause
Sure.
if you take one out. But the case will charge them 3 times, and you get about 6 hours of listening off of a single charge.
Okay.
And then the case can be charged. I think this is neat with USB-C or wireless charging.
Oh, that's cool.
So you can just toss them on a wireless charging pad, or in my case, the Galaxy S10 Plus has reverse wireless charging, so
Which
I can
is
put the
pretty
phone
neat.
down, put the buds on the back, and then it charges them up, which is pretty awesome, and it charges quickly too. You get like 4 hours out of 15 minutes in the case or something.
That's
so
amazing.
I don't know. Overall, I think they're a good product. They sound good. They are incredibly resilient to falling out of your head. I feel like I could be like headbanging at a metal show, and
Yep.
they'd be solid and
That's
stuck
awesome.
in there.
Nice.
They're pretty small, so they fit well, which I mean is why you only get 6 hours instead of like 20 or whatever. But
Yep.
I mean, I had one issue with them once where I started the microphone array when one earbud was in and one was in the case.
Yep.
And then I took the other one out and put it in, and the microphones didn't turn on. But that was just me messing around trying to see if I could get them to break, because why would you turn on the microphone array if you have one free array anyways?
Yeah.
So, I mean, whatever. That's not that big of a deal. So, I don't know. They're great. I mean, yeah, you open them up, they pair immediately, tells you the percentage left, and then you go to town. So, I know you have wireless earbuds as well, right?
Yep, I have the wireless earbuds by Anchor.
Okay, the Soundcore or whatever?
Yep, the Soundcore, whatever those are, the model is of those.
Yep.
But yeah, those I think were around $60.
Okay.
So a decently bit less. They have a button on the outside, not a touch interface. Okay. There's no active amplification. It's just via Bluetooth, that way. So it's nothing fancy as far as the interface goes, but they do stay in my ears well when you put them in, right? For the first 2 weeks, I wore them I swapped the sides and I was wearing them backwards, upside down. And I was like, these kind of just fall out a lot. And then when I wear them correctly, they actually stay in.
Okay.
So they actually stay in quite well. The sound quality is quite good for what I'm doing. I'm usually using them when I'm just, if I'm going to go running or something like that. Toss those in. They're great.
Yep.
So I'm very happy with those, especially at the $60 price point. I think I got them actually for $10, so like $50.
Oh, that's a good deal.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I mean, to me, it sounds like about the same battery life too.
I have actually not figured out exactly what that is. I've used them in such weird segments of time that I've drained them once or twice, but I just have never been able to keep track of how long.
And honestly, that's kind of the thing though, right? 6 hours is plenty, unless I'm on a plane. That's the one time when I'd like more than 6. But for the most part,
and then you just stick wireless chargers to your head, and
well, the only the case can wirelessly charge.
So then you put the case and
get 2 cases
exactly. Buy an extra set just so you can have the case. You wouldn't swap the earbuds. You just stick the cases on your head. Exactly.
I do appreciate them not having the cord that runs behind my head because I have a pair like that. That it's another Anchor one that. It's good and the battery life is better.
Oh yeah.
But whenever it moves and touches my shirt, I can hear the noise that it makes. And that drives me crazy.
Yeah.
And then it bounces when I run so that it starts pulling on them. So these are great for that. I don't know if you can store music on them so you don't have to have the phone connected.
Yeah.
Because some of them can do that and that's a neat feature.
That's interesting.
But either way, I highly recommend them though.
That would probably be only in the case of you actually having the music, not on a streaming service.
Right. Correct. To actually fully transfer the file over.
Exactly.
Right. So, but I mean, it sounds like you couldn't go wrong with either one, honestly. If you have a Samsung phone, these are great. If you don't, the Anchor ones are great too. And I haven't compared the sound quality, but I do really like these. They sound a lot like the headphones that come in the box of your Samsung phone, which are also made by AKG.
Yeah.
So,
and I do like those. Yeah.
Also, the EQ works well.
Nice.
Usually, an EQ feature on headphones is terrible, but this one I feel like they're actually EQing it well, and they have different modes, and you can actually slide the slider to be partially between different modes.
Oh, neat!
It's clarity and bass boost and 5 other things. And
that's sweet. Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. Just good product if you can get them for less than the listing price.
Yeah.
Because it's hard to recommend them when something like Anchor's wireless earbuds exists. So anyways, but if you can get them at Costco, which I was only able to get them online, they sold out in the store. So good product. So
indeed,
I think that's all we have for today. We'll put all the links to the stuff we talked about in the description. And I don't know if you want to I don't think we have anything to plug for this show, so check out our other content.
Really.
We'll link more videos at the end of this video. So thanks for joining us. We'll post on Facebook when we're going to go live. When we do start streaming this. So you can check in.
Fun to have you guys join in and ask questions.
We'll have the chat up.
Exactly.
Yeah. We can talk to you. So anyways,
cool.
I think that's it for today. So
Indeed.
we'll be here next time.
We will.